Yo, yo, yo. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Max back at it again. Today we got Mr. Quattro in for a carbon cleaning. We're going to replace the PCV and we're going to do a full transmission ZF service. So, yeah, let's get going. Alright, y'all, looking at our parts here, we got our PCV with both of our hoses, all the hardware and the gaskets as well. Then we got all of our stuff for our carbon clean. Got an intake manifold gasket, a throttle body gasket, and our injector reseal kits. And we got our genuine ZF transmission service kit, all genuine ZF parts. And yeah, let's get started in the engine bay. Alright, looking at the engine bay, we're going to start with the PCV, as this we have to get the hose off for the manifold anyway. So we're going to remove coils 3 and 4, push those back, and we'll take our PCV off. Alright, to take our coils off, I'm going to use this T30. Take the T30 out right here. If this screw wants to come out, there we go. Got our T30 and these with a 90-degree pick. Gently release the tabs, and they should all slide backwards. Then we can grab our coils, pop them over to the side. This reveals, you know what, makes life easier. We'll take out all 4 coil packs. This exposes our PCV tube now. Now we can get to replacing. This hose here should be pretty simple. 2 push style. Oh, come on. Alright, there you go. There's one. That's hot. Alright, there we go. That's our tube out. And it is more T30s. We have 1 holding it to the turbo pipe here, and then we have, I think, 8 holding the PCV to the head. Let's get all that loosened. Really hot. No idea where my magnet is. That's cool. make sure you want to separate your hose before you take the PCV off in order to not crack it. Come on. Okay. Oh, we got two more. Oh, come on. I don't know where my little magnet is, so I'll use a 15-pound one. And I think, yep, that's all of them. There we have it. Our old PCV is off. Alright. Everything in there looks pretty good. Alright, now we have to focus on the part that goes into the turbo. See if we can get a better look here. This heat wrap line right here goes right down to there. I'm going to take that off. That's two M8 triple squares. Now we're going to get going on that. Okay, not triple square Allen. I did just drive this car here to the shop, so everything is extremely hot, which makes things really fun. Alright, here we have one 5mm Allen, not triple square. I think we're going to have to use a little ratchet there. See, does this kit have a 5 Allen? I'm trying to get my big old fingers down in here. which is never an easy feat. Now with age, all these pipes do become very brittle. So if you do plan on keeping all of your pipes and reusing them, we'll tell you to proceed with caution, as they will break. Just like that. Wow. Are you serious? There you go. And snake our hose out. Use that unplugged for now. Now we can get to our bolt. Alright, now that we got our bolt out, take our pipe out with our gasket that did fall. And here we are. Now we come and grab our new gasket. That's our new gasket. Let's grab our new hose. Let's snake our new hose back to where it belongs. Get my ratchet out the way. Okay. Our hose is routed. Plug our connector back in. Make sure to push down the lock tab. Make sure our hose is routed the right way. Alright, then we grab our gasket with a bolt. And these gaskets have this little indent that will actually help hold the bolt in place. Will help it from coming out. So you could use this, put your bolt on, screw it through the gasket a little bit. That'll hold the bolt so you can get that top bolt without it dropping. Let's give that a try. Now this does go on a certain way. It does have the tab on top. Your hose will have an indent of where that tab will go. So just make sure you're paying attention to that. Always real fun with big hands. Really helps get into them tight spaces. Alright, come on. Alright, now that our top bolt is in, we can go back down. Come on. And my bolt fell on the floor. Where'd it go? Right, here we go. Got it. Tip number 2. Alright, now that we got that one started, grab our gasket that fell. We line up the second bolt, which the outer bolt is a lot easier to get to. And now that that's started, we make sure our gasket is aligned, which it is. Now we tighten it up. Make sure to snug these up. These aren't very tight bolts, so it doesn't need to be super crazy, but hand tight is perfectly fine for this. This is just a breather return back into the turbo inlet. Alright, now that our hose is on, hopefully you get a better visual down up in here. As seen, the silver pipe here, pointing with my finger, goes down to over there. And that's what we were removing and installing. Now the cam is on a tripod, so bear with me. Alright, now we grab our PCV. Before we put it on, just gonna grab a clean rag. Not gonna go crazy, it's not very dirty. Just gonna go around the surface. Just give it a little wipe down. Like I said, not that dirty. If yours is in need, a little Scotch-Brite, just be careful. Make sure you don't get any debris into your engine. A little Scotch-Brite can help clean that up. Alright, now we grab our new PCV. Our kit did come with new hardware, so we will be using the new hardware. I'll give this a good seal. Grab a little engine oil. I just run it around the side over here. Doesn't need a lot. And then grab our PCV and we put it back. There you go. Alright, now we grab our new hardware and we fasten her on down. Now, with the electric tools, I will get them started. Not even right before they start sucking down, I'll stop. Then I'll go through with a hand ratchet in a cross pattern and I'll tighten down the PCV that way. pipe will try to probably fight you a little bit, but in the end it will go in. There is a little point that you do have to line up in a hole on the inside of the PCV. I'll just keep mind of that. Somehow. Okay, wow. The kit came with one less bolt, so we're gonna have to just reuse one from our existing PCV, which is alright. They did supply the original bolts, so we're not mixing and matching. Alright, now we grab our ratchet. In a cross pattern, tighten all of them till they're snug. Alright, after that's all said and done, we do have our line that does go from the intake to the breather. We will leave this off for now, as we are taking off the intake manifold for the carbon clean. So I'm going to leave this off for now, and we will put it on the end. Keep that here for a reminder. Alright, now we can go back in with our coil packs. So normally I would put the coil packs back where they came, but these coil packs have like 4,000 miles on them, so I'm not too worried. They're pretty much new. Now the older the plastic gets, the less of that click you'll get from here, but as long as in the lock tab holes. As long as you can see the tab is engaged, that means it's locked and it won't slide off. You can also just give it a little wiggle with your 90-degree. Make sure it's not gonna slide off. Yeah, let's put our T30 back for our coil packs. Now this one doesn't need to be very tight. That's all it needs. There you go. That is PCV with 2 breather hoses installed. Like I said, we are keeping this one off for now, so we are taking off the manifold. Speaking of which, let's get started on the manifold. Alright, so a couple things. There are a couple things connected to our intake manifold. We have the vacuum line coming from the top. We have a high pressure fuel line. We have all of our vacuum solenoids over here on this side. And we have a coolant line here along with our throttle body. So we gotta get everything around the manifold off, and then we can take our intake manifold off. Here comes our manifold. Alright, as it turns out, our temperature sensor is also part of this harness, which is different from the Volkswagens. For my people using this as a tutorial. This one does just have the red lock tab on it. Just pull it backwards. There you go. Alrighty, people. Let me zoom out. Here is our intake manifold. Very surprisingly, every single one of the ejectors came out, which is pretty uncommon, but also very cool because that saves me a little bit of work. Okay, set our manifold over here. Ooh, let's look at these valves. Oh, you know what? I've seen worse. These are not too terrible. If we're talking terms, I'll throw up a picture of how mine looked. Mine were disgusting. And I did mine well before my boy Carlos here. Carlos is only at 70,000 miles. I did mine at 65, and mine were disgusting. Here's our runner flap separators. These are important. Make sure they do go back in, or else you will experience a very heavy torque loss. But yeah, all things considered, these valves are actually not terrible. Let me grab the camera, show you guys here. All things considered, these valves are actually not too terrible. So yeah, let's grab our walnut blaster and let's get to cleaning. Alright, here we got our carb clean machine. Open this up, fill it up with some walnuts. Let's get it going. Alright, that should be good. Alright, that's spraying. my bad. Had to clean out the vacuum. Alright. Get the setup back going over here. Alright. So we got our vacuum, hopefully. Got our vacuum. Gotta grab our tip. So grab our vacuum. Plug that in. Grab this end. And pretty much this end here covers the whole intake port. And then we can start blasting away. Boom. Perfect. All right. Our carbon clean is complete. Let's make sure this thing's still recording. Yeah, we're good. All right. Our carbon clean is complete. I cleaned our gasket surface up here. Now it's time we're gonna reseal our injectors. But first things first, I gotta clean up around here because it's a mess. All right, now that we're all done carb cleaning, we have our intake manifold here. Now, Gen 1, Gen 2 people, this is for us, seeing as our fuel rail is part of our manifold. Gen 3, Gen 4, the fuel rail is part of the head, so you do not need to reseal your injectors. You can if you want to, but it is not necessary. So let's start by undoing our connectors for our injectors. In theory, these should just slide on out, but of course mine aren't. A little carb clean and wiggle. Here you go. Should do the trick. Oh, there's a lot of fuel. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's put our manifold on the floor. And inhale gas fumes for the next foreseeable future. All right, each injector has an upper and a lower portion. We have our lower portion, which is in the head. We have the upper portion and the fuel rail. Have their own components. They have this ring. We have that plastic piece that we took off earlier, and the O-ring for the top. So first things first, grab a little bit of Scotch-Brite, and we're just gonna clean up the tips a little bit. And that one's not that bad. If we compare now, we got a clean and a dirty. I'm just gonna do that for all four. Alright, now that our injectors are clean, we can start assembling. So you can go with the original kits, or I've had good luck with these Erling kits as well. In the kit, you'll have a couple pieces here. We will have, so this lower portion, we have our new pieces. We have this plastic piece, which will sit here. Sorry, that's for the upper piece. All right, let's restart this. Upper piece, we have the plastic ring plus our O-ring that's going to get sandwiched like so. Then our lower portion, we will have our clip. Our clip will sit in that ridge there. And then we have our Teflon seal ring that will sit like that. Also, this ring sits like this on top. All right, so We have our new parts here. Let's start assembling. If you guys don't already have these snap-on steel picks, they are really good. I enjoy using them. Alright, and then we got our plastic piece off. And now our Teflon can carefully just cut in half and get that off. And boom, now we have a stripped injector. I'm just gonna hit this surface with the Scotch-Brite, trying to clean it up a little bit. Alright, let's start with the upper portion. We can use it as reference. The plastic ring does have a cutout. It does have this little ribbed portion here. That goes facing down. I have made the mistake before putting them upside down. You do want to correct it to be in the correct orientation so that you don't have a leak. Alright, then we grab our ring. That is our top portion complete. Now we get to the bottom portion. So here we have 3 die. We have our 3 levels plus our ring. So if we grab our Teflon, we put it over the steel tool. Then we grab our first level and we don't drop it on the floor. God damn it. Oh, fuck. Alright, at least we have the Teflon, that's important. Alright. Alright, tip is not to have butter fingers. Alright, so we get it started and then we grab our injector. Come on. There you go, we get it started and then we push. We get our ring on there. Now we go to the next step and we push the Teflon over. Then we grab this and we try to flatten it down. Okay, so that's last step. Middle step. First step. These should be numbered. It would probably help a lot, but in the end, that's how it should look. Could have a little play in it, but it should be relatively flat. Then we grab our clip, and our clip sits something like that. And there you go. That is a fully rebuilt injector. Now we just do that 3 more times. Same goes for the 3 liters. 3 liters are the same concept. We only have a 4-cylinder, so we only do this 3 more times. Alright. All of our stuff is connected. Our injectors are in and resealed. Alright, let's grab our intake manifold gasket before we move on. Brand new one to put on our manifold. Let's take it off. Yeah, time to change. While we're here, we can put on our throttle body gasket too. New gasket is on. Injectors, manifold gasket, all that. Just double check that all of our bolt holes have no more walnuts in them. Alright. Now we can start going back together. Boys and girls, that is one complete carbon clean. Yeah, just double check everything is on and tight.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Alright, y'all. I'm not one to hide my mistakes. In here, I left soaking in chemical. In here, oh, sorry, I'm just pouring them out, is the runner dividers for each cylinder. Now, these are, as I said in the beginning of the video, very important. These are important. Make sure they do go back in. So, we're coming back apart, but this should be relatively quick. So I'm not going to bore you guys with the same thing. I'll be back when the manifold's off. Alright, so I just filmed the whole outro and the mic receiver died for the DJIs, but carbon clean with the PCV replacement is all set. Car is running beautifully right now. If we come to the back, no more misfires. Sounds perfect. Got some fresh oil in there too. We didn't get a chance to do the ZF trans service, so we'll have to do that in another video. But all in all, it was a great success today. Thank you guys for watching till the end. I'll catch you guys in the next one.